Welcome to day 4 of our posture challenge, and today we will discussing the concept of the hip hinge. Before we do any of that, like we did at day 1, I'd like you to record yourself. So if you need to switch a device so that you can watch the video on a different device and free up your phone to be able to record yourself, do that now. And again, we'll face away from the recording device. So we'll have it so that we are recording our profile. Come to Tadasana. Feet are hip width apart. Inhale, exhale. I want you to fold forward and touch your toes. Exhale, fold forward. Pause there for a moment. Just notice. Think about the triple S. Do you think you're maintaining it? What's happening in your upper back? What's happening in your low back? What's the position of your pelvis? Good. And then as you inhale, slowly rise up. Good. You can stop the recording. We'll record another thing in a bit after we go over the hip hinge concept. So let's do that, but we'll do it on the floor. So come down onto your mat. We'll lie on our backs. Feet are hip width apart on the floor. Good. And let's find the triple S. So lift the head, lengthen the back of the neck, chin comes in. Lift your chest off the floor. Move the shoulder blades closer towards each other so they're flat against the ground. Lift the pelvis, lengthen the tailbone towards the heels, lower the pelvis down onto the ground. Nice triple S position here. Bring your fingers into the hip creases. So the hip crease is a space where your thigh bone meets your pelvis. So it's where the direction changes here, where you're noticing this little curve change. Place your fingers there. Now lift up the left foot off the floor, bring the knee over the hip, place it back down. Now the right foot lifts, place it down. Keep going. Lift the left foot, place it down. Right foot lifts and down. Continue to march like this. And notice what's happening. You're truly only moving your legs. Nothing else moves. So your pelvis is not moving, your chest is not moving, your back is not rounding in any direction. This is what should happen when you're hinging at the hip every time. It should not affect your upper body at all. Good, you can place your feet down, and let's now come back to standing and try to find this when you're folding forward. So if you'd like to record yourself again, start that now and then come back into Tadasana. Finding a triple S first. So move your head back slightly, broaden the chest, tailbone facing down towards the floor. Now we'll place those fingers back into the hip crease, and you might have a harder time to find it now. If you slide your fingers up your thigh, towards your hip points, your pelvic points, you'll notice a little divot in there. That's where your hip crease is. So place the fingers there. Inhale. As you exhale, push the fingers into your hips to encourage them to move back. Start to bend the knees and fold forward. You can slide the hands down your legs towards your feet. Inhale, slide the hands up your legs until the fingers end up back in the hip creases. And again, exhale, push the fingers to encourage the hips, into the hips to encourage them to go back. Slide the hands down your legs. Keep your triple S as you fold. Inhale to slowly rise up. We'll do that one more time. As you exhale, start to hinge. Your hips are going back, but then they're going over the fingers. So if you were to keep the fingers in your hip creases, you'd start to fold over them, but we'll slide the hands down, the legs towards the feet, and then inhale to slowly rise up. Good. You can stop the recording now if you were recording yourself, and then later you can compare the two forward folds and just notice where the position of your back, both low back and upper back, the position of the pelvis. Just see how those moves, the same move is different just when we're paying attention to how we're hinging at the hip. Now we'll try it in one more way. So coming back to Tadasana. Bring the fingers into your right hip crease, and we'll lift the right foot off the floor, bring the knee up. Again, so you want to push the fingers into your hip as the knee starts to lift, and nothing else should move, only your knee will move up. And then place the foot down. Now we'll do the same on the left fingers into the left hip crease, lift the foot up, and place it down. And keep going. Right leg lifts, and down, and then left, and down. So what tends to happen often when we are lifting one foot off the floor, we either, to compensate, like to lean back, and then down, and we are hinging at the hip, but we're also changing the position of our triple S, so getting out of that optimal posture position. I'm going to try to avoid that. Or what sometimes happens, we come into posterior pelvic tilt and round to make it a little bit easier. So you're not truly using just the hip hinge and maintaining the proper posture. So you want to hold your triple S. Don't let it change at all as you start to march. And that's really it for today. So your real challenge is to keep this concept in mind as you move throughout the day. Whenever you're going to grab something off the floor, remember it's okay to bend the knees. You want to keep your back long as you're hinging. And so hinge at the hips, maintain a triple S to go grab the object off the floor. If you're climbing the stairs, are you leaning back? Are you rounding? You want to keep the posture upright and hinge at the hip to climb those stairs. So have fun with it, and I'll see you tomorrow for a little flow where we'll work on this concept a little bit more. Have a great day.